Hey, I'm Justin, and I want to introduce the next project that I'm bringing to this channel. This is my 2007 Jeep Wrangler, and today I'm here to answer the question, did I just get hit by the biggest stupid stick on the planet? Let's find out. Let's just tear this Band-Aid off right off the bat. Anyone who's watched our channel knows I have a 2006 V8 four-wheel drive, mildly built 4Runner, and it has been absolutely flawless. So then why in my right mind did I pick up a heap? And the answer to that question, it comes down to two very unnecessary things. The top comes off and the doors come off. And it has a solid front axle. And it has a manual transmission. And I just kind of like it. So the 4Runner is still around. I still own it. We're gonna do some comparisons, but its days might be numbered. Buy this thing. So let's just kind of do a deep dive, get a little cozy, and find out why I picked this lunchbox for why I want to throw my money at. I don't know, but let's just see what happens. Ah! So let's get a few of the basics out of the way and kind of talk about what this bad boy is. So this is a first year model, 2007 Wrangler Unlimited X. And the only options this thing had is air conditioning, tow package, and the hardtop. And for whatever reason, that makes me very happy. This thing is just a tractor. It has the 3.8 liter that everyone hates and everyone dogs on. Has a 6-speed manual transmission, which I think is the funnest thing ever. It has 410 gears because it has the tow package. And this thing is bare bones. It has manual locks. It has manual windows, manual transmission. The only thing that's power on this thing is the starter, which thank God. I don't know why, but it just speaks to me. I think it comes from like my younger days. Back in like 2004, 2005, I was blessed enough to be able to purchase a International Scout as my first vehicle. And it's kind of the same formula. Body on frame, solid axles front and rear. The only difference with that vehicle is that it had an automatic 3-speed. And this one has coils, it has an airbag, I think it has 2 airbags, and it has a back seat with seat belts. So it has so many things that I am not used to. I just love it. Look at these tires. 29-inch balled tires. Doesn't get any better than that. I don't think you need a Rubicon with this bad boy. Oh, I guess we need to check out inside and see what we're working with. Oh. Need something?
Let me in.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Not power. Yeah, let me get my tools out of the way. Yeah. So here she is in all of her glory. It has some knobs, which work the air conditioning. You can turn off the traction control. You can control your gears, control your transfer case. Has a radio with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 speakers. I mean, I don't know what else you could ask for.
You can ask for cruise control.
That is true. We could ask for cruise control. So I think one of the first videos, we're going to put cruise control in this because that's been kind of sucky. But it doesn't even have cruise control. Who does that? This is crazy. This is stupid. Has ducks. Because apparently that's what you do when you have a Jeep. People duck you. And the top comes off. Did I mention that? This is a convertible. And I think that's just the coolest thing ever. Okay, well, I'm sure you're dying to see what this thing is being powered by. So let me go ahead and pop the hood. Oh yeah, I forgot. This engine belongs to everybody. So if you can do this, and do this, and do this, you can get into the engine bay. Anybody can do it. I just did the tutorial. And here it is. This is the infamous 3.8 liter minivan V6. It doesn't even have overhead cams. It's just rocking rockers. And I don't know. To me, I think it's really cool. It sounds like a tractor. It's underpowered. People hate it because it replaced the 4-liter straight 6, which apparently was God's engine. I don't know. And then they later replaced it with the 3.6. But I would argue, I think this might be the better engine. Because sure, the 3.6 has something like 60, 80 more horsepower, something crazy like that. But this doesn't have all the cheap, nasty plastic parts around it that keep breaking. So 3.6 to me seems a little bit unreliable. This might be underpowered, but it seems pretty reliable. And as long as you got the right gearing, which this does for these little donuts, the 410s and the 6-speed manual, I think it works out pretty good. And for the 1,500-ish miles that I've been driving it so far, it's getting like 18 miles per gallon, which to me is so much better than the 13 I was getting out of the 4Runner. So this little guy, I think we're gonna become good friends. So now you might be asking yourself, Justin, in all your infinite wisdom, why did you choose a first model Jeep JK to be a possible replacement for your bulletproof, insanely good V8 4Runner? And the answer to that is, in the 8 years that I've owned my 4Runner, it's been kind of boring. Like, I feel like that's my issue with Toyotas right now, is they're kind of too good. Like, I think I need a little bit more abuse in my life, because it's been a phenomenal truck. It's gotten me from A to B, 70,000 miles. It's needed a radiator. And then it's general maintenance of a timing belt, which I didn't even, I procrastinated big time on that, but it's done. So that thing's good for another millennia. So of all the 4x4s, why this? And to me, I just love the characteristics that come from a Jeep, because it is literally a modern 1960s, 70s vehicle. This feels identical to driving a Scout, but with better working air conditioning. And for me, I don't know if it's because of my upbringing, but I enjoy it. You know, I am fortunate enough right now where I have this and my 4Runner at the same time. So I've been able to drive them kind of next to each other, you know, go from one to the other. And the 4Runner, I get in it, it's cozy, it's perfect, it's smooth. And I get in this and I just smile. I jump in, it's bouncy. You hear the transmission, the engine is the clatteriest, loudest, unrefined thing I've ever heard. And it just brings a smile to my face. And to a point, I think that's why a lot of people love Wranglers, is that there's no excuse for them. They're just thin. This is just open fiberglass. This carpet comes out with nothing. It's bare metal underneath. And it's not trying to be something that it isn't. It knows it's a bouncy, just box. It's a lunchbox on wheels. But if you get these for the right reason and you're in this environment, I don't think there's a better vehicle to be in. I mean, just today alone, this is my first time actually being on the dirt for real. There's a lot of like sandy trails by my house, but they're really flat. And I've already done one mod to this, which we'll look at later. I've already disconnected the sway bar with some zip ties. And with these little dinky tires, the flex on this is something that I don't think my 4Runner could ever achieve. And that alone with this front axle is why I think I made the right choice. So let's go to the front, let's check that out, and then, I don't know, maybe we'll do some B-roll of this thing doing its silly little off-roading, and then do some final thoughts. Okay, so let me show you that quick mod I did. You know, this is temporary, but I just wanted to see how it worked. But all I did was just remove the sway bars, zip tied them to the sway bar, the end links, and then just zip tied the sway bar to the frame. So with that, this thing already has, like, I don't know, 13, 14 inches of travel. It's stupid. It's just a little rocking horse of fun. Solid front axles, can't get any better. But what can get a lot worse is when other people own vehicles. I was fortunate. This is a one-owner Jeep. Someone bought this in 2007 and said, hell yeah, until 2025. That's crazy. And something else that's crazy is this stupid mod that they did. I already took it off because I just couldn't bear witness to it. Somebody put a massive jerry can here. And we all know Jeep Wranglers have books of aftermarket stuff you can do. There's an aftermarket way to make this work. And you know what they said? That. I want 8 huge holes in my fender. I want to cut off my fender flare, add this, and then put liquid nail or something, all for 5 extra gallons of gas. which was probably never, ever used. So this is my trauma I have to deal with. What's yours? Okay, we are now behind the wheel of the 2007 Jeep Wrangler. One thing I forgot to mention, this has 123,000 miles on it. Now to me, that's very low miles. I'm used to that number starting with a 2. But sometimes with Jeeps, they can be relatively low mileage because they tend to be people's secondary vehicle, or they're towed behind a RV and give you the false sense that it only has 50,000 miles on it. But that's what we're rocking with today. First driving impression, it is a bouncy toy. Like, this is stock, and the up travel on a solid axle vehicle is not the best. This thing is definitely more for articulation and down travel. But for being completely stock, I can't complain. It is still just as fun as anything else you're gonna buy these days. And it is the right size. This is just, it's fun. And what I'm looking forward to as I go along with this ownership is the transmission. As I've explained numerous times, this is a manual. And while I have driven manuals for, 15 plus years, I have never owned an off-road manual. So this is something that allows me to also grow as a driver. And as we're filming this, it is early spring, so the days of this top and door being on are severely numbered. We will not be in this enclosed cocoon for much longer. I got a Jeep, I'm gonna use it as a Jeep.
Yep. You know, if you watch our other video that we put out probably just right before this, I swapped my manual FJ Cruiser for a Land Rover. So go ahead and check that out. The hardest part for me is giving up that manual. Driving manual off-road is just so much fun. And I just had to, meeting my criteria in my budget, I just could not find a manual vehicle to scratch the itch. So until you get a little bit better money, money situation, everything, the Land Rover is a very fun thing for me to try out and stress test and have some fun with, and check all those boxes. But my first choice, was a Jeep. This, I think he hit a home run. It really checks all the boxes.
Yes, yeah. If I'm one of those weirdos, I was excited that this was a base model. I did look at some Rubicons. I used to own an 09 Rubicon 2-door with the 6-speed, but I only had it for 6 months. I was young, I couldn't afford it, so it went bye-bye. So this is my redemption story. I can do it again. And one thing that I'm really excited to do for, in the next seeable future, is I am really curious how this Jeep does in its stock configuration. It is very tempting that when you buy a Wrangler to just modify it. That's just what you do. That's why you own these things. So I don't know if there's that much content out there of people off-roading Jeeps with 29-inch tires. And I want to kind of see how that makes me a better driver, because I'm spoiled by my 4Runner. It does most of the driving for you. It's tall, it has big tires, and the frame is 3 inches off the ground, and it has all terrains. So I want to increase my skill set as a driver, and I just really want to see how far we can push a stock Jeep before we think we need to modify it, which it's gonna happen. But I want to try and hold for a while. I don't know. I can't give a time frame because I don't know, because it is too tempting. I am looking at parts all day, and it is the most fun knowing that I could completely customize this Wrangler in the cost of a rear bumper on my 4Runner. Those things are ridiculously expensive to modify, and these are ridiculously cheap.
The aftermarket on Jeeps is probably the most robust of any vehicle on earth.
It makes my head spin.
Yeah.
There are pages of front bumpers. You can kind of look past the whole reliability, blah, 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 because this is just a toy. You can just customize this, make it your own. People are very proud of what they do to their Wranglers. And to a point, most 5th gen 4Runners, my 4Runner, Tacomas, they all kind of look cookie cutter. They all have the same front bumpers, rear bumpers, rooftop tents, the little things on the beds that make the bed useless, and then that's it, game over. You just spent $15,000 to look like the guy next door. while these is just unlimited, and you can go it at a third of the price if you really wanted to go cheap.
I'm really pumped that Justin wants to keep this stock and that he has his 4Runner. So we, like with the Land Rover, the 4Runner, the Jeep, you know, we have a couple buddies who have a couple different things. We really want to showcase, like, you know, what these vehicles can do. We just want to show you don't need to spend 30 grand or to have like the newest, hottest thing to go out and have a good time. Like, you know, like this is a base model first year JK, the one that everyone tells you to stay away from.
Yeah, and this is going to be just as unreliable as a brand new Jeep. So you don't have to pay big money for the same reliability.
That's right. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I got you covered. But it might be better. This is the 3.8. I'm going to be the cheerleader for that. People don't seem to like it, but I feel like since this vehicle's been around for so long that it's kind of getting like a second wind. You know, it's proving to be just this little reliable, chunky clock. It will give you the time, but it's not going to be pretty doing it. But I've owned it for long enough to know that it is a connoisseur of oil. It does like the thick stuff, but whatever.
Yeah, coming from the BMWs, I think we're a baptism by fire in a way.
Yeah.
Like we are so, after learning how to work on those cars for the last year, we are so much just more confident and willing to take on some stuff that used to scare the bejesus out of us. Because it's like, how do you do this? What do you do? And it's like, like you just, you know, just open YouTube, learn how to do it, and get a wrench and do it. And so, like, yeah, we're I think more than ready to tackle whatever this thing throws at us. Like, like it needs a little bit extra oil. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just carry that with me. So I think just kind of to wrap things up a bit, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you're excited about this. You know, I'm going into this fully well aware of the choice I made. I'm not blind. I'm not just drinking the Kool-Aid of Toyota or Jeep, but I want something different. I love this style of vehicle, and I hope this gets somebody excited, and I hope it doesn't get too many people upset, because at the end of the day, if you're watching this, you are an automotive enthusiast, and this is our world. So who cares what we're driving? And it's not your money. So if it blows up and catches on fire, then you get some content and I get to cry. So
yeah, let us know what you think. If you're coming from Jeeps and you found this and you're excited, you know, Toyota fanboys who joined because, you know, we're coming from Yodas. It's like, you know, we're still here.
Yeah, the 4Runner's still around.
Yep. We're gonna showcase it all. Like, this is all fun. That's what we're doing.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. See you in the next one. We're gonna start to get into these things. Peace.